Hello, YouTube. So, what I want to talk to you guys about today is good old summer vacation. Yeah, that was supposed to be like a jet.
Hi, I'm William Haynes. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with watching television. Nick at Night was my jam. Day in and day out, all I wanted to do was put my eyes on the television tube. And then I discovered anime, and then my life really changed. Growing up, one of my favorite shows on television was The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Back then, there weren't a lot of shows like that. And back then, people weren't actually going for their comedy late night talk shows for their information. People used to believe the news back then. After a while, I grew up, I went to film school, and then I got hired by a production company that got bought by Discovery, also known as SourceFed.
Right, I'm ready for the story! I'm ready to film! I'm ready to film! Wipe your forehead, Steve!
Since I've gotten on SourceFed in 2014, I've managed to get on television multiple times. These are all of those times. One of my favorite TV appearances that I've done was one that I did not see coming, where I was on Sci-Fi. They were covering Comic-Con in 2016, and the actual host of their big show was Will Arnett. Michael, I've made a huge mistake.
Live from Comic-Con promo, take 8.
Oh, I know how to spell it. It's like Michael.
He even said my name on TV once or twice.
Mr. Robot is everywhere these days, including Comic-Con. William Haynes met up with the cast earlier. Take a look.
That was fun because I'd never been to Comic-Con before. It was absolutely terrifying. Too many people, 100%. But getting to do the TV show and being on live TV for the first time was definitely worth it. That was a really cool experience. One of the duties I had on the show as a host was to interview the cast of Mr. Robot, which was difficult because I had never seen the show before.
Hey guys, I'm at Petco Park about to sit down with the cast of Mr. Robot. Like when you went to your audition, like did you think you'd be sitting in a baseball field with everybody wanting to do virtual reality with you?
No, I thought I'd probably be sitting in another audition room a week later.
How do you feel about this?
What? Whoa!
This is surreal.
Also, since Mr. Robot had come out, a lot of people told me I look like Rami Malek, so I was like, oh, I should bring this up to him. And I did. And he agreed. Even though we're not the same ethnicity, we do kind of look alike. This next time I was on television was very memorable because a lot of my family members saw it by accident. I was on the commercials for Shark Week.
Hey everybody, this is the Sharkopedia Trivia Game. I'm your host, William Haynes.
Technically, I was on Shark Week too, during the commercials. I was doing one of those man on the street shows where you ask people questions and it was about shark trivia. What was really memorable about this time was it was the first time in my life I ever had a trailer with my name on it. And I could sit in the trailer and look and be like, oh, this is nice.
Hey.
Ooh, absolutely not the right one.
Also, what happened because I was on Shark Week was I was also on this other show called Shark After Dark.
Kevin, I know you're a huge Shark Week fan. Where does your shark obsession come from?
I don't want to call it an obsession. It's like a fear mixed with an obsession.
Okay.
They had me as their like behind the scenes correspondent thing, and I got to do all these interviews with all these celebrities, but our memory card got messed up and all the footage got corrupted, so that never came out. I remember I got to interview Candace Cameron from Full House, Chelsea Handler. I remember Kevin Hart was there for a second, and a couple other people, but the memory card corrupted and we couldn't uncorrupt it, so that never got to be seen. And finally, I think the most involved I've ever actually been on an actual real television show was when I was on Disney XD's The IGN Show.
This is the IGN Show.
We take a look at the highly anticipated.
I know! How was I picked to be on this?
This is the IGN Show.
I don't complain. Last summer, in summer 2017, Disney XD decided to add a gaming block to their nightly Monday through Friday weekly content, and the IGN Show, along with Parker Plays, was one of those shows. I had a great time. What I had to do to be on that show was every week on Wednesday, I would fly up to the Bay Area for like a day or two and then fly all the way back to Los Angeles. And it sounds fun, but it's actually super tiring and ruins your week in a way that you're like, who am I? And by the time we ended it, I was like, I don't know who I am. And I had an absolutely great time. I also got to film it in the IGN office, which is like a really, really cool thing, life-changing. So I've gotten to be on television a couple of times, and honestly a few more times, and I've learned something. By the time I was age 23, 24, I was on a television show that was on television 5 nights a week for months, at least 6 months. And I had worked my entire life just to want something like that. And when I was young, I really wanted that. And I actually did get it in real life. And now watching television means something different than it meant 10 or 15 years ago when I was a kid. So I think my point is, when you want things, by the time you actually get them, they'll probably be completely different. Once you figure out a goal in your life and you actually accomplish it, I guess you have to just set new ones.
I wanna feel on those lips. Oh.